Well, a new WorldBox update came out a few days ago, and everyone knows what a new WorldBox update means. New content for me to milk the hell out of. And today, we're going to be exploring the main new feature that got added to the game, the armies. Warfare in this game has always been kinda it's been okay, but this update really is supposed to change a lot of things. So today, we're here on the Earth map, and we're gonna see what happens when you follow just one army for 1,000 years. Let's get into it. And since we're looking at some new update features today, we are going to be following the army of the Navy SEALs, because I mean, they're named the Navy SEALs. How can you not follow them for 1,000 years? You see these guys right here? These are the guys who killed Bin Laden. This is exactly what they look like. So we're going to spawn about 100 of them up here in Canada. And how about we spawn in one of the new humanoid species as well, the punkcorns. And this species is like really random and weird, so let's just put them in the most random and weird country I know, Australia. And next up, we're going to spawn some penguins in, and you know, let's just spawn them in Argentina, because why not? You're not my dad. And lastly, we're going to spawn in some basic, default, boring, lame humans up here in Russia. Now that our 4 species have been placed down, let's wait for them to create kingdoms. And once they have been formed, we have named them Unicornucopia, Jackal Land, Boring Humans, and the RR Empire. And since we're going to be following their army here today, let's wait for them to create that army. And, well, they're actually the first one to create an army here, too. With just 1 soldier for now, the RR Empire 1. That's a terrible name. We can't name them that. And we're going to name them SEAL Team 6. That name has my seal of approval. Get it? Do you get it? See, I named it seal of approval. If any of you are leaving the video after that joke, please just at least hit the like and subscribe button on your way out. But with only 1 member right now, in the next 1,000 years, these guys are going to expand drastically. They are currently led by Captain Duel, who's only 15 years old, jeez. But naturally, since he's a trained Navy SEAL, he has a wide array of very, very good traits. And all of the Navy SEALs will have traits similar to this. So we're going to favorite him. And the reason I favorited him is because we don't actually have old age or hunger enabled, meaning in 1,000 years, there's actually a possibility that that dude is still alive. But as time begins expanding, SEAL Team 6 will slowly grow. But I mean, just look at their village. The Navy SEALs, in my opinion, probably have the coolest village design in the whole game. I mean, these things just look absolutely sick. And as SEAL Team 6 begins ramping up its recruitment efforts, it's pretty much guaranteed that we know that these guys will not struggle at all and the RR Empire will reign supreme. But with that said, other nations have not yet begun forming militaries, but they will soon as they see the power of the SEALs. But we have a very, very long way to go. We started it in year 6,000, meaning we still have around, 984 years to go. So we're going to let all these kingdoms expand for a little bit. I'm going to skip ahead 250 years, 1/4 of the way to our goal. So I'll see you guys then. And here we are at 6250. The world has expanded rapidly and slowed down my game heavily, so we're gonna have to change that. You probably noticed that there was a surprisingly high amount of peace during that whole sequence. That's because I forgot to tell you, wars were not on, but they are now. I just wanted to give these kingdoms some time to, really grow. But speaking of kingdoms, Jackal Land is the biggest kingdom, taking all of South America and a decent chunk of Africa, and they have even trickled back into Antarctica. I guess I just can't resist, guys. I'm sorry. Then we have the Boring Humans, who have pretty much colonized all of Europe and Asia, and a little bit of Africa too. Then we have a Unicornucopia, who has done nothing. They literally have just stayed on Australia. They do have pretty sweet houses though, and they generate a ton of minerals. Look at that. And lastly, we have the favorite RR Empire, who is doing just fine. They've taken over all of North America, part of Africa, pretty much all of Siberia. They've taken part of Southeast Asia, and are even beginning to expand into Antarctica as well. These guys are all across the world, but let's look at how the army is doing. Well, we have a ton of armies now, but SEAL Team 6, the main army, is the biggest and most prominent, with 276 members now. Now that we're actually looking into the army a bit more, I want to explain some of the stats here that are going to be really interesting to look at. This first page actually doesn't show a lot. The only really useful info it has is who the captain is and how many melee and ranged units that they have fighting. Down here, you can also see some of their breakdowns, like their subspecies breakdowns. Most of them are obviously seals, but 95 of them are skeletons. Well, I mean, I guess as long as they're on our side, I don't care. But what I really want to look at is the statistics, which have been in the game for a while, but I feel they apply a lot more to an army better than they do to any kingdoms or population. As we see, we're currently looking at the number of people in this army. It started off pretty low 250 years ago, but has steadily risen and kind of leveled off now. Obviously, because we don't have deaths turned on, there are absolutely no death statistics either. And then we have the kills, which is also 0. But of course, now that these guys can actually beat the crap out of other people, these stats should begin to change. Not to mention, you can also look at their interesting people too. And here we can see that our boy Duel is still alive and he's ready to fight. But currently, the strongest SEAL in SEAL Team 6 is a SEAL named Seal, and I'm all for it. But now that we have a little background info out of the way, we've seen what all of our kingdoms have come to, it's time for a little bit of chaos. We are going to sim to year 6500, which will bring us halfway to our total goal. But since diplomacy is now on, be ready for some epic fights during it. And here we are at year 6500. And by the way, this war that you've been seeing here has been going on almost the entire time. It's like, I mean, literally look into it. The RR Empire has been single-handedly fighting both the boring humans and the Jackal Land penguins simultaneously, and they're winning. They have completely taken over Jackal Land's hold in South America and Africa. However, they have lost all control over Antarctica, but based on their boats here, which I believe are literally supposed to just be submarines, they'll be just fine. But enough about the empire itself. Is the army still here? Yep, here they are right here. They still have 300 members. They have 180 melee units right now, but they've moved up to 120 ranged units. Their captain is currently a woman named Plea right now, who has 1 kill. In total, the army has obtained almost 800 kills and has less than 400 total deaths. That's nearly a 2 KD. Like, let's compare those numbers to the numbers of, like, an opposing army. Like, how about the humans? So we have the boring humans' second army here. 160 kills to 320 deaths. These guys have a 0.5 KD. They are absolutely terrible. What about the unicorns? They have no kills, no deaths. I forgot they've been peaceful this whole time. They haven't been involved in anything. Once again, the composition of SEAL Team 6 is like 60% seal, 40% bones. We also somehow have 54,000 coins. Oh yeah, I also forgot, you can see the past captains here. You can see Duel right there. He was the first captain for 150 years. So I guess let's just quickly take a look at the graphs here. This first one is the population graph for the past 250 years. As you can see, they were rising. Then the war started, they dropped, but they were able to slowly regain. And then here is their kill numbers. Obviously, they had no war here, and then boom, 50 years later, already had 600 kills. And we're going to compare it to their deaths. Yeah, quite a significant number of deaths, I do have to say, but since their kills are double, I would say it's worth it. The person with the most kills in the entire army is this dude Plurpy, who's 507. He's Miracle-born. He is one of the original 100 seals that I spawned in. He has nearly 400 health, 12 kills, and he has all of these traits naturally. Dude's actually insane. But anyway, we are going to simulate another 250 years here. Now I just want to see if the RR Empire can wrap this war up in that time span. I assume they can, because at this point they're clearly winning, but we'll see. And for this time lapse, we will finally go and watch in the army later tab, so you can see how SEAL Team 6 and the other armies move around. and 6750. As you can see, if you couldn't tell, the RR Empire has taken over most of the world. Well, we have a new kingdom of Taza here where the unicorns were. They're completely gone. And I thought the boring humans were destroyed, but I guess they turned into skeletons and now live over here in Southeast Asia. Okay, I guess whatever floats their boat. But the RR Empire really showed their skills. I mean, in the past 500 years, they have single-handedly taken down every single other country on the planet. And all of this was accomplished due to the sacrifices of SEAL Team 6, which is becoming surprisingly skeleton-based. Actually, there are a lot of skeletons. Even the captain is a skeleton now. But according to the breakdown here, it is still mostly SEALs. In terms of their demographics, they actually have a higher percentage of melee units now with 229 and exactly 100 ranged units. In total, they have 1.7 thousand kills in just the past 250 years and have only had around 900 total losses. That's still about a 2 KD, which is absolutely insane. Looking at the population graphs here, I like how you can always tell when they were deployed in the battle when the population just plummets. And you can tell recently they've been in a time of peace because the army population has risen back up. And then of course we can see the kill numbers here, which obviously also kind of correlate to when they went in the battle. The most kills is this dude Say here with 30, and he does a ton of damage, has a ton of health. This guy's pretty much unstoppable. We're actually gonna favorite him, see if he's still alive later at year 1000. But this wouldn't be a great WorldBox video if we just simulated the last 250 years with RR Empire already having the world taken over. So we're gonna do a very cheeky thing and go into world laws and turn on rebellions. Obviously, SEAL Team 6 is located in the capital of the RR Empire, so they're not going anywhere. However, they may need to fight off a bunch of insurgents. So in the next 250 years, we're going to see what's brewing in the RR Empire at year 7000. And here we are, 1000 years later. Well, I don't have to worry about any loose ends as the RR Empire has done everything for me and not only fended off any rebellions, but taken over the world while they're at it. What a good job by them, and what a powerful empire. Existing for pretty much 1000 years here. Let me just... There we go, now it's 1000 years. But if we look, more than just the empire lasting 1000 years, so did SEAL Team 6. Ironically, their most known soldiers finished with 666 renown. The person who finished with the most kills was a relatively young guy named Bo with 12. The army would finish with 2.8 thousand total kills. That's an average of 3 kills a year, which in this game, because of how fast years go, is pretty good. Their KD did lower a bit, but they only finished with 2,000 deaths, so they still had a net plus 800 death ratio, so these guys are good. And here are all the captains that they had, starting with the original Captain Duel, and moving all the way up now to Captain Day. The skeletons have finally overtaken the SEALs in population number, and here's what the final graphs look like for the past 1,000 years. Lots of kills, lots of deaths, and honestly, they stayed at a pretty consistent soldier level. I actually think they're at their highest all-time here with 414. Nice. So that's a great way to end it. Once again, this new update's absolutely awesome. Being able to follow an entire army is such a cool new feature. Not to mention, look how sweet these bases look. I mean, these are absolutely insane. But anyway, if you were able to make it this far in the video, clearly I entertained you at least somewhat, so I would appreciate it if you would go ahead and drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And that's all for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Farewell.